Welcome and welcome back. My name is Sarah, and as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about different hamster enclosures. I'm going to tell you 3 key things to be looking for a hamster enclosure, and then I'm going to give you some ideas of ones that would be great. You can do some DIYs, you can do traditional barred hamster cages, you can do an aquarium, and I'm going to just let you know what is and isn't safe. Without further ado, let's get on to the video. Okay, so the 3 main things that you're going to want to look for when you're looking for a hamster cage is 1. Cages are very, very small and often only offer about 200 square inches, and that's probably being generous for a lot of the ones that I've seen. You want to aim for something that's at least 30 inches by 15 inches. This will give you 450 square inches of floor space. 450 is really the minimum for Canada, and I believe the US, I could be wrong, but I know that places like Germany have a much higher minimum, and this is because 450 truly is the minimum. It shouldn't even be that low in my opinion. Hamsters need a lot of floor space to be able to do their natural activities such as foraging, burrowing, and they travel kilometers every night in the wild. The wheel does not make up for floor space. That's like having a very tiny room that you have to live in your whole life, but substituting all the space that you would have in a normal house with a treadmill. The treadmill doesn't make up for space that you can move around in. It's just there. So the second thing that you want to look for when looking for a hamster cage is, does it have enough ventilation? This is an issue that you wouldn't face with barred traditional cages. This is more geared towards bin cages and aquariums. If you're going to have a bin cage or an aquarium, it is critical that you cut out the top of a bin cage and replace it with a wire mesh so that there's plenty of ventilation. Or if you have an aquarium, you're going to need a screen for the top instead of a glass cover or something like that you traditionally use with a fish. So you want to make sure that there's lots of ventilation, and as I said, with barred cages you wouldn't have that issue because the whole thing, all the sides except for the bottom, is breathable. And the last thing that you want to look for is the pan depth. You want to make sure that you can have at least 6 inches of bedding. This is, again, the minimum. Hamsters are ground dwellers, which means that they don't benefit from height. They like having a lot of substrate that they can burrow down into and make their tunnels, and it's a really important thing to provide for them so that they can do their natural activities. They can make all their burrows. So as for different cages that you can use, I've already said there's traditional wire cages such as the Prove? I'm not sure how to say it, but I know you can get it on Amazon. I'll put a picture here and I'll link it down below. You can also buy a glass aquarium. The minimum is a 40-gallon breeder. You have to make sure that it's a breeder because that way the floor space is larger. The normal 40-gallon is taller, and as I said, hamsters don't benefit from height except for the depth of the substrate, so you want to make sure that you get a 40-gallon breeder to allow for the 450 square inches. You can make your own with a storage tote, which is what I have done for myself and my little man Cheerio. It's very easy. You can get a tote for anywhere from $10 to $30, and the hard wire mesh doesn't cost much either. There's plenty of videos on YouTube, I'm sure, of how to do that, so that's a great option if you're looking for something on the cheaper end. You can always make your own DIY hamster cage, which is great if you're looking for something to customize to a specific area in your house. That would be a great option. The only thing I urge you to keep in mind if you're going to do this is to make sure that you include the ventilation, because wood is not ventilated, obviously, if that's what you're going to be using. And make sure that there's no nails or anything sticking out into the actual enclosure that a hamster could poke themselves on. Those store-bought cages that look like a DIY project, such as the Night Angel, I will put a picture here and I'll link it down below. This one's great. It offers the same amount of floor space, and if you want the nice pretty DIY look but you don't want to go through the efforts, this is a great option. Now, as for unsafe cages, I would urge you to stay away from anything that is marketed towards hamsters, because you'll notice in the pet industry everything is made too small for its particular species. There is like KT Critter Trails, and there's off-brand ones, and there's a whole bunch, and basically if you look at it and you measure it and it's not 450 square inches, it's no good. And again, you have to keep into mind the ventilation and the pan depth, which these cages often also don't account for. They normally have very small little pan depths, which aren't good for much. Thank you so much for watching. This is all I had to say about hamster cages for now. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. If you have anything particular that you want a video on, please comment it below. I will absolutely be reading the comments. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!